Welcome back in the house.
Friday night. What's good, y'all? Yes.
Friday, man. Another
God
Friday.
Good. Another Friday.
In the box.
We made it.
We got a what's going on with you, Pastor Ricky, D-Ray, Ron?
What's up, doing, brother? Hey, good. Always good to see you.
Lovely. Everything is lovely.
Good to see all the brothers.
We got a great show, man, for you tonight. We got Claude Deuce in the house.
In the house,
man. Just right. like well, I feel like we got Cam Newton on the team. He got his Patriots jersey on. You know, he ain't letting nobody talk bad about his squad.
Oh man, I think Pastor Ricky wore his hat. All right. I see it.
Ron got his Dolphins on. You know, Ron always gonna talk about how the Dolphins were undefeated in 72.
Still are.
But me and Pastor Ricky, we Falcons fans. We know what it is.
Right? I got to hear about that 28-3 thing, but it's okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I'm still rising up.
Yeah,
we got a great show. Yeah. We got a great show for you. And we're going to be right back in a second.
Fundamentals and building blocks. Turn to advice when I'm in that spot. When I got questions, and that's a lot. Perfect time to hear from Rico in the box.
All right, shout out to Radiant.
Radiant.
Yeah. One way or the other, I got to get that track.
Yeah, man.
He ain't gonna give it to us, man. He ain't gonna.
That's a classic, man.
I'm gonna have to get that track.
I just want it for my listening pleasure. That's all.
You're gonna get it, man. Ron, go ahead and talk about it right here, man.
Yeah, music industry makeover Thursday nights. All right, make sure you join us as we give you marketing and promotional tips. We ain't gonna give you everything. We just give you a little nuggets here and there. Right, every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as well as critical dialogue on Tuesday nights with yours truly, Andrew Crawley. Yes, hey, we have some great social discussions, and we basically come at it with a biblical perspective. So critical dialogue, check us out.
And then shout out to my girl, man, Dice Gamble. She's doing CHH University, man.
Yes.
You know, if you want to learn music, man, she's doing it big, man, over there as well. Want to make sure all you guys, man, support her. We support her as well. And don't forget, me and Pastor Ricky on Sundays at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
We talk about life, man. A lot of times in life, man, you can't pick yourself up, and that's what the show is about. If you're dealing with depression, anxiety, there's just some negative things in your life, man, this is, you know, we can help you as well. And let's not forget, you know, we are Music Industry Makeover. We're on every Thursday night at 9 p.m. And we're on Roku. So this is the pic that you're going to see on Roku when you check us out. And then, of course, then you know in the box, this is the pic that you're going to be able to find, whether you're on Roku or Amazon Fire Stick as well. And without further ado, let's not forget, y'all know we got the Madden tournament that's coming up.
Yes. All you
trying to get
fans.
in, register, you know. It's a $5 registration. Portion of those proceeds, man, are going to be going to a charity as well. So without further ado, we got the homie coming on, Claude Deuce.
Hey, what's good?
What's going on, sir?
What's happening, man?
Welcome.
Glad to have you.
Yes, sir.
Man, listen, I was on WTHB 1550, and back, that's been 20, how many years, Ricky? 25 years?
Right at and pushing 30.
And almost pushing 30 years. And I was the morning show personality. Right? So we're pushing 30 years. And the thing on the show, you know, of course, quartets, man, was the deal back then. And so, you know, my PD man used to listen to my show, because being a young cat on the show, morning show, she wanted to make sure, man, I ain't start playing a lot of Christian hip hop. They let me play. So I would always reach, man, for your CD, yours and Percy Beatty Jr., because those were the only two CDs that, I mean, we had a lot of music, but those were the only two, and that and Kurt Franklin was the only music, man, that I could get away with playing. So I remember now, and I tried before you came on the show, I was trying to find the CD, man. All I could remember, it was a red case. I can't, and I was online to try to find it, man. I was surprised.
I got it on Amazon.
You got it?
Yes, sir.
Because that's like my favorite. All your music is good, man. But that's for me, it's sentimental, because, man, that's whenever I had to go to my new music block, I would always pull a track, man, off your joint, man. Yeah, man. So,
man, appreciate it.
Glad to have you, man. You were like one of the first cats in Augusta, Georgia. Nobody else was getting no radio spins. I know. I was in there.
Wow.
Right?
Nobody.
My question for you early on is, man, what was it like? Because I remember you look vastly different now for the young cat that I was playing and I was hosting concerts and you'd come up and you was doing your thing. What was it like being a teenager, you know, in the music business, you know, gracing the stage with Grace, Yolanda Adams, the J Mosses? You don't perform with everybody.
Yeah,
what, as a teenager, man, what was it like? What mindset-wise, what was it like? And how much pressure did you have on you, especially having a dad and having a big ministry? You were pretty much, man, like the ambassador of the city.
Right.
What was it like, man, back then?
Man, first off, thanks again for y'all having me on here. And I'm just glad to be here. And to answer your question, it was a lot of pressure. But I think what helped me navigate it was the fact that I was doing basically what I grew up doing in church. I think that was like the preparation for me, you know, because I went through all the little musical mess ups at church, you know, being nervous in front of people, playing the wrong chords, messing up my runs, like when I'm trying to sing. You know, there was a time when I first started playing. I first started like seriously playing in '93. And there was a time I could not sing and play at the same time. That was just so hard for me to get that. And so
I think that's hard for everybody to get that. That can sing.
You know, that singing and playing. I'm talking about I'm talking about like really chording. You know, I was busy trying to concentrate on what I was playing and then trying to remember words. That was tough, man, back in like '93, '94. And so I think just everybody got the mistakes at church. And then when it was time, when I put my first CD out, it was in '99. And when it was kind of time for me to start doing those things and, you know, and those bigger stages, I was prepared because nobody really saw the training I was going through coming up, you know, and I was messing up and I was really nervous, but then it prepared me for those bigger stages. So it was a good feeling, man. It was a really good feeling.
My question was, who did your choreography, bro? Because when I was first seeing you, man, I was like, this joker dancing in the church, and this joke, like, that was unheard. Like, cats wasn't doing that, but who did your choreography, man? Your sister, your mom, who was doing that, bro?
So I was working with two people. There was a show we did. There was an attorney back in the day named Luther McDaniel. He booked Mary Mary to come in town. He asked me to open for them. And I think I might have been 21. And there's a young lady in my church. Her name was Crystal James. And there was another guy named George Kitchens. They were the choreographers for that. And you know what? I got to give Tone. He goes by B. Slade now. But I got to give Tone the credit. Tone is where I got that idea to do the dancing. Because he, you know, that was his thing.
Yeah.
And so, plus coming up in the time I did, Michael Jackson, you know, Bobby Brown, I could just keep going on of all the different people who sang and danced. So Prince, you know what I mean? So yeah, all that was the influence.
So how did you navigate, man, because there's a difference between being a church musician and then going into the studio and tracking.
Big difference.
Because a lot of guys think because they play and they kill the service, it's a whole different world of transition to laying down tracks.
Whole nother world.
How did you do that, and what prompted you to do that, and what was your struggles, man, with that?
I think what helps is listening to a lot of people. You gotta listen to all the records that you like. You gotta really don't just listen the way you would listen to the radio or the way you would listen just for enjoyment. You got to really sit down and try to think about everything you're hearing and think about the way it's been put together. And some of the best records were not overplayed. And so it's like coming from the church musician aspect, we're big on chords. We're big on, that's why even now you can listen to like, say, a James Fortune record, and you as a band member, you're going to spend forever trying to learn the intro.
Mm.
You know, you got all this, and then the singers come in, and it's like you focus on trying to get all the licks, all the hits right. So I think that transition from church musician to producer, you have to learn how to kind of pull back and do some simple stuff that doesn't compete with the singer. You know what I mean? But it gives more of a foundation for that vocal to lay on. Because really, you want, if you got a singer you're producing, you want them to be heard. You want them, to be understood, and that music needs to complement. So you don't want to be battling, with the singer.
In other words, you're saying, it's about playing in the pocket. Just
right. And you got to understand, like, studio is one thing, and then like sequence program track, that's a whole nother thing. And then a live recording is a whole nother thing too. Usually the live show is where the band can kind of shine and do some hits, but if it's a studio project, if it's going to be programmed sequence using a drum machine or whatever you use, you really don't want to do too much,
So my question to you, and I want to ask, being a church musician growing up, and then when you start doing music, you get on a lot of stages. What was your struggle going from teenager to man in music and trying to stay grounded and not really just switching up going mainstream music? Because when you can play and you can sing, there's so many opportunities, man, that come your way. And how how was life at home when these opportunities? I know now you're older.
Yeah.
But then when you was faced with all those opportunities that you could have, what was your mindset, and why didn't you?
I think what it was I had moments where I knew I was going to end up where I am now, right? I knew I was going to end up here, but either I ran from it, or either I was trying to do things in the name of, well, I'm living, I'm young, I got time. I traveled with PJ Morton, the PJ Morton band, for about almost 3 years. He had an album. This was right before he got with Maroon 5 and right before he signed with Cash Money, Young Money. He had signed with Young Money. He did a record with Young Money. I was a part of an album called Walk Alone. And so I was on the Walk Alone tour. And when he accepted the gig with Maroon 5, we were in New Orleans. We were performing in a super lounge for Essence Fest. After we came off the stage, we went back to our green room, and PJ broke the news to us that he was about to accept the gig with Maroon 5. And he said, but you guys will receive a call in about a week or so for some other opportunities. My opportunity, because he was going to be, the band was going to be put on hold. He was with Maroon 5. My opportunity was Bruno Mars. And I was going to be doing the same thing I did for PJ, and that was background vocals and auxiliary keys. At the time, this is about 2011. At the time, Bruno's tour bus had been pulled over for cocaine. My parents, that's all they heard. Pulled over for cocaine. They were like, "Nah, you ain't gonna do that." Even though I was already about 30 by then. I was about 30 years old, but they were like, "You don't want your name mixed up with that." And I wanted to do it, especially after I saw Bruno do 2 Super Bowls. I saw them I saw them on the Grammy. Exactly. And now 2 of my homeboys went. They were horn players. They went, and they still to this day perform with Bruno. And they told me what them checks was like. They are salaried. So whether Bruno's touring or not, they're salaried. That's aside from what they get per show. I think they were getting something like, I don't know, $7,500 a show, $8,000-9,000 a show when they first got on.
That's good for a horn player.
It's for a horn player in 2011. So
that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And Bruno works. You ain't doing like 1 a week, 2 a week. When he's on a world tour, can you imagine The money. So of course, man, I didn't accept it because I was supposed to be a part of a gospel tour, right? It was me, The Truth, 2103. Who else? Willie P. Moore, Willie P. Moore Jr. And I'm leaving off one other name because the other name, he and I were the opening acts. We did one date. And the tour fell apart because that was around the time streaming had kind of started coming into play. People were buying records like they used to. People were supporting concerts like they used to. And so the tour itself that I was on cost like $15,000 per city. And the one date that we did do, 4 or 5 churches got together to bring us. That's because one couldn't afford it by itself. So it was a lot of stuff behind the scenes. It fell apart. I'm back home, like, dang, I should have played with Bruno. So I had a lot of moments, a lot of opportunities. But I think ultimately what I did was I just began to think about what I'm really called to do. And now I'm finally doing that. But 8-9 years later, so. I'm not gonna lie and say it was easy and the Lord held my hand through it all. Man, I was salty looking at them dudes on the Super Bowl. I was at my church watching the Super Bowl, like I know him. That dude right there, that's my spot. I'm supposed to be doing that.
But you never know, man. I was in a similar situation, and I'm convinced that if I had gone a certain path, I probably would have been on Behind the Music or True Hollywood Story, because I didn't have good sense back then. So
unsung.
They'd have been like the tragic tale of D-Ray producer.
Right.
The last thing you wanted to do is give me $7,500 for playing my saxophone. Like, what time the gig? I'd be there 15 minutes before. Man, okay.
That's a lot of cheddar, man.
That is.
But I'm proud that you accepted your calling, though. So
me too, man.
If I had to ask you three things, 3 lessons. Hold on, let me hear. That's it. I'm in here.
Oh
yeah, Kevin just laughing. Okay, all right, Kev, what's up? If you had 3 lessons learned that you had to learn that was hard for you to learn, and because I know where you are right now, but you had an interesting life as a musician growing up. What are 3 life lessons that you learned that was very hard, that cost a lot, that you learned about the music business?
You have to know why you do what you do. You gotta always remember your why, because there's always gonna be things that's gonna happen that's gonna make you feel like you missed your moment or that you were left out. Like if I was part of this clique, if I was part of that clique, maybe I'd be popping a little faster, a little sooner. Maybe if I was with this particular group of people, if I had this person representing me, I could be promoted to this many radio stations and I could get that number 10, top 10 spot or whatever. You know what I mean? So you got to know why you're doing this, because there's going to be times you're going to feel overlooked. Another thing I learned, specifically the gospel industry, that it is a business. And that everybody might be singing gospel.
Come on.
But they ain't living gospel.
Man, say that. Say that.
So you have to be, you can't wear your heart on a sleeve if somebody does you wrong, because it's still the gospel music industry.
Yeah, come on now.
I think another lesson, and there's plenty of lessons I learned, but I think thirdly, another lesson I learned is to never, ever give up on a song. Someone may not accept a song, but that song can have a whole other life with another artist. And that other artist, and think about it too, people can redo songs. I've had one song that's been a blessing to me. Dietrich Haddon did it, and Shirley Murdoch did it. And I did it. And before it's all said and done, I'm probably going to get it placed in a movie or something. So one song can have multiple shelf lives. So don't give up on a song just because you really wanted a particular person to do it and they said no, somebody else will say yes.
So how did go ahead, bro?
No, go ahead.
So how do you, as a musician, singer, as a music artist, how do you evolve as an artist without biting everybody else? Staying creative when everybody wants to be a clone of everybody else. What are some techniques that you can give to listeners that are listening right now on how to stay unique?
Always work on your crafts. You know, if you're a vocalist, always work on your voice. Learn your voice. Learn what puts you at your peak and stay there. And also listen to other people. I think it's okay to listen to what's hot now. And you can determine from, you know, different things if you need to pull certain things or certain styles, nuances or whatever. But I think you should always be true to yourself. Always be true to what your strong suit is. And have a good team around you that's going to be honest with you. When you do create stuff, people that you can trust to play, and they say, nah, that ain't it. Or
so let's talk about that for a second. I want you to pause right there. Team. When you say put a good team around you, I want you to identify those components and identify the importance of those components of that TEAM.
Man, I have a writing partner that I sometimes pull from. He and I get together, and you know, I think it's good when you can write a song completely by yourself, but I also think sometimes it's good to include someone that you trust, that you know you all can be above board with the business end of things, and you can come to an agreement on how things should be broken down and all that. But sometimes another insight, another perspective is always good. And you can say, you know what, yeah, I can do that way. I can say it this way. I think that's a good person to have on your team. Someone that could be objective, that's not a yes man. That's another good person to have on your team. That's not just around for, you know, your fame or your accolades, but somebody that really has your best interest in mind and at heart, that'll be, you know, that can be honest with you and you can receive from them. Then you just need valid support. You need people that, you know, got their ear to the street, that understand promotion, that understand marketing, that can help you get your music out in a different way. They can say, hey, you know, this is what's hot right now. Maybe we could do some of this. Maybe you need to do an animated music video and pitch it to this, you know, and maybe buy some ad space on Instagram and Facebook and do that. You know, some people who know, people that are strong at certain things that you're not. Have those people on your team to help you out.
I was going to ask you about that was the marketing part. You purchasing advertising. Did you ever consider purchasing advertising on radio and television as well?
You know what? I'm going to for the album. The album's coming out later in the month. I'm definitely going to do that with some radio stations. And I may get some TV spots. I got a good relationship with a local TV show here, Preparedness Quartets, and I'm going to see if they can, you know, pick up some stuff and show it for me. But I have done some different Spotify promotions, Apple Music promotions, and I've seen, you know, after a month, I've seen the gain in my streams.
Awesome.
So it's good to have a budget for that.
And the whole purpose for me asking that was to show that, again, as long as you have been into the industry and know there's some artists watching, you still have to invest in promotions. You have to market and promote yourself, regardless of who you are.
That's right.
I got a quick question, and a question with a purpose. The team that you assemble, are they there just to glorify you, glorify the Lord, or are they paid members that y'all are investing in each other? Do you expect your people to work for free, or how does that work?
We're investing in one another. The person on my team that does like graphic work, I pay them to do that graphic work for me. I don't expect any freebies or anything like that. We work. I honor them. I honor their gift. You know, just like they believe in mine and they want to, you know, lend me help. You know, I believe in their gift as well. And, you know, I'm not trying to come all spiritual, but the Bible says a workman is worthy of their hire, worthy of their pay. And so if you've done something for me, I got to bless you. I got to give you something because that was your blood, your sweat, your tears. Yeah, man.
Love it.
Love it.
So when it comes to producing music, what do you find yourself producing on? What's your, what are you using? What DAW are you using now?
Man, for my music, I use Beatmaker 3 on the Apple iPad.
Okay.
Yeah, I use Beatmaker 3. I'm still a Logic guy. I like Logic Pro as well.
I'll just finna ask that, man. Because I know last time we talked, you talked about you using Logic.
Yeah, I'm still a Logic guy.
I don't like y'all Logic guys, man. Whatever.
I still like to do vocals in Logic. I've done some vocals in Personas, Studio One.
Thank you.
I'm not really a Pro Tools guy. I can set up sessions for Pro Tools, but I'm not really a Pro Tools guy.
Yeah. I can attest, man. Beatmaker 3 is a great program. It's probably one of the best iPad programs out there. The fact that you can have your own sample library, you can put them to the pads. You can be anywhere and get studio quality beat making, and then you can fly it into whatever DAW that you're using. Down the line, if you want to go and put it in Pro Tools, put it in Logic, put it in whatever, and you're not losing any quality. And
right.
So it is a very really dope program.
Oh yeah.
So it brings me to the segue that I want D-Ray. Of course, you got 3 news articles, man. That I want you to start with the one on copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Start there, bro.
Yeah, so we got a couple of news articles, and this is a special warning to the lazy producers that are out there. Producers are good for having these made up rules to say, oh, I can sample this because I only use 8 seconds, or I can put this on TikTok because it's only on 30 seconds. Well, how about China has created a company in China has created a way that they can detect copyrighted music on TikTok videos.
Wow.
And it only takes about 5 seconds for them to detect it.
Wow.
So once it's uploaded, they can detect it. And so other companies like Apple, who own Shazam,
and I didn't know Apple owns Shazam.
And I didn't know either. I didn't know that either. But if you think about it, now that you do know that Apple owns Shazam, and that if you have an iPhone and Siri is always listening,
right?
You might want to be careful what you're uploading. But basically, a description. This program is called ACRCloud, and it says that it helps monitor copyright usage for some of the largest record labels in the West, meaning this side of the earth. And they're not disclosing the names of the companies that's using this service because they're keeping it under wraps. Companies don't want you to know that they're using this.
Wow.
So a lot of these producers, if you go back and you look at our previous episodes and you've seen me talk about Comcast being sued, and they're getting these sue notices and copyright infringement notices in excess of $1 billion. Somebody's probably using this program to say, hey, all that stuff that y'all uploading on TikTok that you think is fair use, oh no, it's paid use. So you got to be careful with that. Any questions? Anybody want to comment on that?
Hey man, I think it's a good thing, man. Because we know that while the market share is down on album sales, nobody's buying music. Right. A lot of these companies don't want to pay producers, man, for their work. Right. And it seems like everything that happens, the producers or the creators are getting less and less for their work, while everybody else is capitalizing on it. And I don't think that's cool. So I'm glad. I hope we can kind of put that in a lot of places. So I feel like it's gonna force the cats who say you're in the music business, you say you really a producer, you say you really an artist, you can make stuff. Let's see.
And then also this will hold the artists accountable and stop being lazy on their creativity. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Right. Because I know some cats that's what they do. They live for the sample. And I'm like, I'm serious. They live for the sample. I call them a sample artist. That's what they do. They live for the sample. They love going and chopping up samples and throwing them into machines, throwing them in Reason and chopping them up. And I'm like, but where is the creativity? And I'm kind of like, that's one of the main things that I really admired about you, Deuce, is because even way back, man, from my thought process, and I'm not saying, just to say, I'm a cheerleader, but I recognize when someone's really producing music and it's coming from the heart. And ain't nothing that they pull off of Otis Redding sample and then throw it down on. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
One of the main things that I admired about you as being a producer when I was coming up was that unique sound that you had, the unique sound that you had with your vocals, the unique sound that you had with your keys. And because I remember back in the MySpace days, so I might be telling our age. But I can remember, man. It's like sometimes when I was a budding producer trying to get things straight, I would send a message to you and say, "Hey, man, how you do this?" And bro, you would just come back and say, "Hey, why don't you do it this, that?" You know what I'm saying? You wasn't selfish with the information that you had. So that was one of the things that I can appreciate you. But that's one of the main things that a lot of times, I sometimes fight with, because I'm not trying to be like, people make me feel like I'm wrong because I'm not doing all of that sampling. I truly believe, man, music is created from the heart. And if you're going to create it, it needs to be it needs to come just straight off the dome, not pulling from what somebody else did. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things I appreciate about you, Doc.
But that's pressure. That's pressure from the industry. That's pressure from people wanting to make money. They see something that's already successful,
right,
and they want something to sound just like it. So maybe they can get some of that audience. And and you're right. It comes off as very, very inauthentic. And nowadays, in the Google, we're in the Google age where people can look you up. People can see right through you being a phony. They can see right through it. People they have a website that's dedicated to finding out where you got your sample from. It's called whosampledit.com.
Yep.
Wow.
And it's the sole purpose. You type in the song, they break that song down. It's like, oh, how many times has this sample been used? I think Mo Bounce to the Ounce has been sampled 700 times.
I wonder that is the one that probably called Robin Thicke and Pharrell.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye got to give it up.
Got to give it up.
Hey, man, they try to explain that away with that to pay that money.
as they should have.
They had to pay that money, Doc.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Then too, so we just got a new plugin, man, that actually dropped, man, which is RX8. If you got RX7, a lot of us, I got RX7, you got RX8. One couple of things that's unique about the RX8 plugin, you have a guitar denoiser. One thing that's added, and you know that in the RX7 version, you can actually take a 2-track and you can do a tonal balance to where you can pull down your drum, you can pull down your vocals, or you can pull down everything else. But it left some phase holes in. So that was an RX7. Now RX8, the second part was different, is they actually started to clean. It's a lot clearer. It sounded a whole lot better. And then also there's a new plugin that you can get, in courtesy to Danny, Research Guru.
Yeah, this is Manny Marroquin's tone shaper, and what it's sponsored by. It's built by Waves, and it's a free plugin that you can use. That if you go and create a I messed around and looked at Lowe's comment.
Yeah, Lowe's. I saw that video too. That mess.
It better
Man, look. Let me say this.
It better be worship and praise.
I know.
Nobody, any beat you play, anything that you put in WAP, any beat from WAP, nobody's thinking about your lyrics.
No.
They ain't thinking about what's WAP.
That's horrible.
Stop that.
Always does that. We've always copied mainstream.
Los got me on that one, but yeah, you go to Waves, the Waves website, you create an account, they'll give you this plugin for free. Now I'm gonna have to give you some warning. Downloading and buying them Waves plugin can be addictive because once you get a hold of Waves plugins, especially if you've been using stock plugins all your life, man, you'll want to buy them all.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now what it's really about. When you go and get these free plugins, if you got some crack plugins on your system, they not gonna work no more.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. And if you got a crack if you got a crack DAW, because I have seen a lot of quote unquote producers say, "Yeah, I just downloaded this Logic program from this site, or my homeboy gave it to me." Okay, that's great. Go and try to download something now for real from the Apple Store. See what happens to your system.
But if you're just not joining us, just not joining in the box, we have Claude Deuce on, singer, music producer, songwriter. He's been doing this since he was a teenager. Glad that he took time out to be with us. You know, if you can, share the show out. It is going to be on Amazon Fire Stick and Roku. Before we jump back into our interview, man, with Deuce, I want to give a shout out, man, to we our footprint is growing internationally, but in the United States, Virginia runs Ashbury is Ashbury.
Yeah, Ashbury, but I'm in Hampton Roads, but yeah.
But they loving us. They loving us, man. So we
thank you, Ashbury.
We got 5,262 viewers, man, right there in that city, bro.
Wow.
So they loving what's happening. And then Chicago, I want to send a shout out to Chicago. Chicago, man, you know, the footprint has been growing. You know, we appreciate you in Chicago.
Shout out, we love you.
Mexico, want to send a shout out to Mexico.
Hola.
Love you for checking us out, man. And the UK, United Kingdom, every week, man, that footprint is growing. We want to say shout out to the UK.
Shout out to the UK all day.
Shout out to Chile, footprint growing. Chile. Right. Shout out to Japan.
Yes,
you know, it's growing every day.
Konnichiwa.
We appreciate you. Keep sharing.
I learned that from different world.
Yeah, I think I watched the same episode.
So we want to say shout out to Portugal. Their footprint is going to Portugal. Appreciate you for being locked with us. Also, shout out to Italy, growing.
Italy, thank you so much. Thank you.
Shout out to Russia, man. We love you.
We love
you. Y'all been doing your thing, man. Like the numbers double there. Romania.
Wow.
Shout out to France.
Wow. Thank you.
Shout out to Germany.
Yeah.
Right.
Germany.
And Singapore. And Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Wow.
Yeah. We appreciate it.
The glory. Thank you.
You know. And,
that's dope, man. That's dope.
That is dope.
Hey, I have a producer question for Mr. Deuce. And it's the one thing that as a producer here, thank you, Los.
Yes,
it's the one thing that me being a producer, I run into when I'm trying to get a church singer to convert into a studio singer.
Oh man, that's a miracle. Yeah,
I know for me, it is very hard because in church when you're trained in church, you're trained that your emotion comes with volume.
Yeah.
And strength. and just that you go, But you can't do that in the studio. How do you well, you could do it in the studio, but nobody's gonna want to listen to it after. So how do you translate that? How do you coach your artists when you're trying to get them to make that transition into the booth?
Man, listen, that's tough when you just really, the person has to be palpable, man. Like the person has to want to, first off,
wait a minute, bro, what word did you just use?
Palpable, right?
Palpable,
So I need you to explain that. So other people listening know what that means. So that's important. That's a very important word.
Yeah.
Define it, bro. That's all I'm asking, bro.
Please break it down to us, child.
You gotta break it down, bro.
They basically give you, they entrust that vocal to you. They gotta be maybe another word.
Pliable.
They wanna be pliable. They want to be pliable, you know, willing to let you guide, willing to let you kind of mold and shape and,
right,
you know, bend and twist and be flexible, you know, and open to your advice, your actual vocal production. Usually if people are coming to you, I know when people come to me, they, you know, and I thank God for this, they respect my musical judgment, and that's instrumentally and vocally. And if I'm writing, they respect my pen work as well. So, you know, they're usually open to my suggestions. Like, hey, you know, on this part, pull back a little bit. You know, that's usually what you got to tell church musicians and church singers. You know, don't do too much here. You know, kind of pull back for the studio. So, you know, it's all about the person, man. Sometimes
I've ran into that.
Yeah.
And when you start to explain to them that there's a difference between the studio and the church, and the first thing that you hear is, well, you're not going to stifle my anointing.
Yeah,
well,
I do it.
The thought process is we're trying to capture it in a manner where it's appropriate to play over the radio. We're not trying to stifle your anointing, but we understand what the industry is looking for when it comes to music. So if we want your anointing, that's what makes it different. That's what sets you apart. It makes you who you are. But at the same time, you got to understand the difference. If you listen to Tasha Cobbs in the studio and Tasha Cobbs live, it's two different sounds.
That's right.
It's two different sounds. Just like Deuce was saying, if you listen to the musicians, listen to Kurt Franklin's music and then in the studio, but then listen to it live. Of course, just like Deuce says, you have that ability to be creative when it's live, but when you're in the studio, you're in the time frame. You got to understand the 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So
go ahead, Claude.
I just want to say this really too. That's where you got to pull on that team. Like as a producer, all producers may not be vocally astute. You know what I'm saying? So have someone on your team that is a dope vocal producer. And then I believe too, when you're producing an artist, what you say is critical because singing is muscle memory and vocal ability as much as it is mental. And you can psych somebody out of a good vocal performance with your words, your body language. If they're constantly not giving you what you need and you just you're sighing and they can see that, they can hear that, then that's going to take them out of their zone. So what I think is good, if you're not able to tell them what you want from them, have somebody with you that can kind of vocally guide them and say, okay, I like that take you just did, but give me one more and let's do it this way. And then when you're alone and you're kind of piecing things together, give them what you wanted them to do, give it to them and see how they like that. And a lot of times that can be more received versus a constant, you know, impatient kind of vibe. But you got to really be patient in this game, especially when you're working with a singer.
I'm gonna tell you, Mr. Deuce.
Well
I'm gonna tell you. I have been known to be different in the studio. I've been known to be a little different. And you know, my biggest thing is don't come into the studio unprepared. Don't come in
not knowing your lyrics.
Don't come in unprepared. Now you having patience is one thing. An artist wasting money is another. So if you come in, you don't know the song. I have a pet peeve with people that have to read lyrics off their phone. Because I feel like if you got to read it, you don't know it. And if you don't know it, you can saying, yeah, there go my wife saying, yeah. For those of you who don't know, I produce my wife. She goes by the name of Beat. But if I feel like if you got to read it, you don't know it. I'm not a big person to use auto-tune. I feel like if the chord says B flat, you need to sing B flat. And if you can't sing B flat, you need to practice it until you can. I'm not that big of a guy on trying to go back and fix stuff and copy and paste because I feel like that takes away from the performance. So
right. And then when you trying to and then because another thing, and I just want to stay right there in that vein, D-Ray. If you're trying to sing on the phone, right? That means that you're not in the microphone because you got to hold the phone like this, you know, and then you're trying to sing sideways. We're trying to get that, like you said, you don't want to do too much cutting and pasting. You want to get that in there. And now that's something with me. Deuce, please pray for me, because with me, that's a pet peeve of mine. If you're coming into the studio, first of all, this is money. Money is time. So if you're coming in, true to the fact, we're gospel music producers, but there's still that business side of what you're saying.
Preach it.
You have to involve that business side. If you're coming in here, you're not prepared, you're singing from a phone, you don't know when to adequately hit what you're supposed to hit because you're holding the phone trying to go along with what you've written, you're wasting time. So sometimes Deuce that comes out. So pray for me, Deuce, because I'm like, because I'm one of them ones, I will cut your studio session and be like, when you learn this, come back. We'll be ready.
Me and Pastor Ricky must be related.
But I'm gonna do it. Yes.
And this in the market where we're in right now, Deuce, a lot of people not buying records. You know, a lot of artists are being taken advantage of streaming wise. How important is for an artist, from your perspective, to understand songwriting split sheets, and why it's very important to agree to those percentages before you try to go in and record a song. And for people that don't like doing songwriter split sheets, you know, let them know why it's important for them to do the songwriter split sheet if you have people that are working on a song.
Man, because depending on the pace at which you're working, you know, you don't have any type of ledger. You don't have any type of, bookkeeping process going on. It's real easy to forget who worked on what. And so split sheets keep our friendships intact. Split sheets also are just important to have just for those purposes. When you go to register, we can properly register the songs and everyone can get their cut. Because
now, I want you to go back to when you say split sheets, man, keep your friendship intact. How can a little simple split sheet impact your friendship, bro? Speak on that for a second.
Let me tell you, a buddy of mine, my writing partner, Bracy Yarborough, awesome, talented dude, man. Like, he comes up with lyrics just like that. He's definitely awesome, man. He and I were already in the studio one day, and we decided to do a song with another duo. We dropped the ball that day. We got so, into what we were doing. The song was hot. Song was kind of coming to all of us like so quick, and they bounced. The other two guys bounced, and we were just like kind of, playing the track like, dude, this is crazy. And I was like, oh man, the split sheets, I forgot. And man, we had, for the next 3-4 months, just trying to chase both of these dudes down. Because what happened was they brought us like a skeleton track. And then what I did was I played more instruments on top of the skeleton track to beef it up. And then my writing partner, he added some verses to the hook they brought. So it was a collaborative effort, but they had to connect on how to get the placement. It was something for like, I think they were considering giving it to Bobby Valentino or something like that. And man, because we knew we had done the lion's share of the work, we were trying to chase him down to get these split sheets signed. I don't think anything ever came of the song, man, because it just kind of created bad blood, after a while. Because it was almost like, do y'all not want us to get our credit? And, split sheets keep your friendship intact. They do.
That's good, man.
They do.
Oh, that's good.
That's real, man.
Yeah, man. I wanted you to talk about that, man, because we talk a lot about, man, doing things the right way, and a lot of people, man, don't like to sign contracts. But contracts, man, keep everybody honest, especially when it comes to the music domain, because there's really no other way for artists to get paid. Because right now, nobody's doing shows anymore. right?
Exactly.
So you don't know, you don't really know. We know when we make a song, we can't say it's going to be a hit. We have a good idea when we hit play, we play it back, and everything's working. But if you don't have the paperwork in order, because somebody's going to get paid from that song.
Yeah.
So before we get out of here, man, we usually do this. It's 9:50, man. We've been talking. This great show though, man. We always do 10. This game we call 10. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna ask you a question. It's gonna be either or. It's either A or B. You can't think about it, right? You think about it, we just gonna boot you off the show. No, I'm just making jokes. It's no right or wrong answer. It's just a way that we want to hear how your mind works and what you think, right? So machine or MPC?
MPC.
Waves plugins or Isotope plugins?
Waves.
Lee Williams and the Spiritual QCs or the Williams Brothers?
Williams Brothers.
Carolyn Ramsey or Kiara Sheard?
Kiara Sheard.
Kurt Franklin or Jay Moss?
Jay Moss.
Yes, sir.
GTA 5 or Call of Duty Warzone?
Call of Duty.
Logic or Studio 1.5?
Logic.
Suck, man. Waves MV2 or Waves Rider?
Ooh, Rider.
Yeah.
Malcolm X or Martin Luther King?
Martin Luther King.
Brandy or Monica?
Brandy.
All right. Hey, I believe you said Martin Luther King because your mama watched it. Everyone else like, what you just said, Malcolm X? I know your mama watched it, bro, so I ain't gonna say nothing about that. Smart man.
I got to go Monica. I got to go Monica.
You got to go Monica.
I got to go Monica, man.
You really you think Monica sing? You think Monica sing better than Brandy, bro?
She got hits. She got hits.
I know they both got hits. But who you think got the better voice?
Brandy.
I don't know.
See,
I'm still on that Monica tip.
This what I go by. Brandy can do what Monica does.
Right.
Monica can't do what Brandy does.
That's what I feel.
She can't. I'm not saying Monica's not a good singer.
However, if I can detect that you're using auto-tune.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing.
There you go.
If I can detect, and I'm telling you, this last album, I finally started to hear it.
No, man. No, have you heard that Brandy had there's a you can look it up. There's an interview on YouTube. Robert Glasper was talking about it. He said Brandy, a lot of people think it's auto-tune, but Brandy is so precise when stacking her vocals that she has actually done something where she did a stack and it phased the computer out because the computer thought it was the same vocal twice. She was like her wavelength, all that. She matched it. And that's hard to do.
Yeah.
So
very hard doing stacking.
She's just precise, man. You can tell during that verses, the way she was kind of singing over some of her records and even singing over Monica. She got the goods, man.
See, I like what you said. For all y'all jokers, man, here that's trying to say there was Monica, I'm gonna go back to what Deuce just said. Brandy can do everything Monica can. Monica cannot do everything that Brandy can.
Well,
that makes a difference.
Maybe I'm on the odd man out, but I don't know. But hey, both of them are awesome. Both of them. Can't take that away. I still say one is better than Logic, though.
I can't pick between the two of them, honestly. I can't.
I just say that I'm gonna put that in, dude.
Both the great singers, man. Both the great, but they both in their own right, man. So what do you think about, man, the Kurt Franklin and the Jay Moss?
Oh, that's gonna be silly.
You mean like the question, the comparison, Kurt? I know. See, it's like two different things. But that pen game, man, both of them are amazing writers. But I can kind of get with. I'll just say I identify more with Jay because I kind of do the same thing. I can do what Kurt does too. I can teach choirs, but I'm more of that studio guy, that producer guy. Doing my own vocals and stuff. We all know Kurt don't sing like that, but Kurt can You can't go wrong either way. Kirk gonna give you a hit. Jay can give you a hit.
But do what Jay can do though, just like you said, dude. Kirk can't do like Jay can do now.
Right. Yeah, Kirk can't do like Jay can do right now.
That's why he went with Jay.
Because don't play yourself short, dog. Because Jay and you, boy, y'all background, man, you have always had some of the nastiest background.
Oh, thank you, man. Hey, man, I can't wait till y'all hear the new record. The new record's coming out September 25th. I can't wait for y'all to hear it. Like everything, just know everything you're hearing on that record is from the iPad, music-wise. Even the quartet song. Only thing that wasn't on the iPad from the quartet song was the bass guitar and the lead guitar. But everything else that you're hearing was all from the iPad. And all the tracks iPad, and those background vocals are there too, man. So I can't wait.
Man,
can't wait, man. Can't wait, man. Can't wait.
Hey, real quick, give a shout out to Michael Williams, who's watching us from the Christian Gospel Music Supporters page. So yes, thank you so much.
What's going on, Mike? What's happening, bro?
You drop it, so I can go on to Amazon and pick it up. When is it dropping, sir?
September 25th.
For sure.
All right.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I've been waiting on this one.
Any last words, man, before we got here?
You got that.
Oh man, just thank y'all so much for having me. I really appreciate you guys. I love the platform that you have, and man, just thank you for this time.
Ricky,
well, man,
where can they find you, dude? Tell us where they can find you.
Facebook, Instagram. Go to my Instagram at Claude Deuce, and I have a link in my bio that'll link you everywhere else I am. So just go.
Oh, you can just Google his name, man. You're gonna take up the first few pages. Any last words, Ricky?
Well, it's been a pleasure because I hadn't seen Deuce in about it's been a minute.
Yeah,
it's been a minute, and I've always been a follower of his music. So just being on here, being able to see him, being able to talk to him, and anticipate this album, because like I was saying, man. This is no lie, Deuce. It's so funny. I'm gonna show you how God is. Just about 3 or 4 days ago, I was on my way to Augusta and coming back. I'm listening to you got that stuff and Holy Ghost girl. So I'm listening, and I'm like, here I am. I'm talking to Deuce. That's a blessing, man. Oh, Rico, and guess what? Deuce sold me that first machine, dog.
Yeah.
The first machine.
Oh, the first one. I remember when you got your first machine. I didn't know you got it from Deuce. Yeah.
Yeah, MK1 came from Deuce, man. That's that Augusta boy. Y'all don't know nothing about that.
I remember that, man. And we meet in that Electrolux parking lot?
Yeah,
right
man.
outside that
Walmart. All right? Y'all have a church there now. Okay, and he's the preacher too. He preached just as hard as he produced, dog. So he is.
Well, you see that beard, man. That's the preacher's beard, bro. You see that beard, bro. That's why he got it. That's you know. Listen, bro. Listen, you already know that. You already know that, bro.
Yeah, you gotta have that salt and pepper in the beard when you that preacher. You gotta have that salt and pepper in there.
Got to, man. I'm 40 now, so
Any last words, Danny?
Hey, Deuce, it was nice meeting you, man. Nice getting some background on you. I'll be following you and listening to you. And hey, if you're not too busy, feel free to register for our Madden tournament.
You play Madden, Deuce?
If you got something.
Actually, I don't have a gaming system, man.
What?
I don't, man. I don't know if I can.
We finna lay hands on you right now before you get off here, bro.
No, dude, I respect that.
I can't believe that, bro.
I respect that. I would much rather you say you didn't have no system than to say you had a system with no skills. I respect that, sir.
There may be an out for Deuce. Deuce probably got a system. He probably gonna say it, so he ain't got to get on there and play.
No.
Man 21.
Okay.
Okay, but I heard some stuff about Madden 21. I've waited to buy, but I can't wait to play with guitar Gertie. But I guess I'm gonna have to.
Man, Madden 21 dope, man. I like it, bro. And you know what I think, man? I
heard a lot of glitching about it. That's why I ain't picked it up yet.
I think, man, that folks just really hating on it because they want this new 2K to come out. This new 2K, the 2K21.
Yeah,
because they're making that, man, so it's crapping all over 21. Man, but EA Sports being not with it. EA Sports has not been what it was since John Madden not here, bro. Like straight up.
That's true.
So you
It's-
just
it's-
all right.
yeah.
I want to buy. When is the tournament?
Registration is all of September. We start in October.
All right.
starting
Okay,
in
I'm
October,
on the buy next week. Then
And you need to go on the buy so you can start playing. And I'm on it. And then too, in the last words, Ron, before you get out of here, brother.
Hey man, nice meeting you. I've definitely been playing your music for a while or so because I recognize the name. So hey man, thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And then too, man, before we get out of here, man, I don't know if you guys, if I got any cats, man, in here that play GTA 5. You know, I'm trying to get me a crew so we can kind of play some heists together, make some money and stuff like that, man. If you gamers, you know, you can inbox me, let me know. You know, we are some gamers on this station, you know, and we love the game.
Yeah,
You know, we gon' you see what I'm talking about? We
Man.
gamers.
Ooh,
Wow.
I like
Gamers.
that.
Wow.
We
That's
gamers.
nice.
Pastor Ricky, did you build that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh,
Man, just take me back to old school, man. Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 2. All right. Hey. All right. Yeah, take me.
I got Street Fighter 5. I got
Get over here.
My sons don't want me in that. That's the only game they don't want me in. All my sons, they can't stand me on Street Fighter. Especially if I'm playing Ken and Ryu, they don't want me.
Man. Ryu, my man.
And we wanted to say, man, and you guys, man, that are watching, we thank you, man, for following us and supporting us, man.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
everybody that are watching us in other countries outside the United States, man, we appreciate you. Keep sharing the show out, man. Check us out on Roku and Amazon Fire Stick. Go to Music Industry Makeover. You can kind of see some of the services, man, that we do. If you're independent artists, if you got questions, we want to be able to help you. We sit down with you. We talk with you, kind of figure out, man, what it is that you need. And then we're there to help you as well. And don't before you go, just hang on, Deuce. All right. And we appreciate you. God bless. Good night.